Influencing popular culture, politics, and everything in between. The local station takes you ringside as we discuss the crazy world that is professional wrestling. This is Going Ringside with the local station.
Hello there, and thank you for joining us for this episode of Going Ringside. I'm your host, Scott Johnson. Very excited about this one, because guess who's in studio with us today? We're talking about maybe the best in the world, because she's the world champ, Mariah May. AEW Women's Champion, World Champion Mariah May is here. We were so excited to sit down and talk to her. She's in our neck of the woods. If you're watching this in Florida or Georgia, you know, AEW Collision, if you see this in time, is in Jacksonville for their big homecoming show at Daly's Place, right in the heart of downtown Jacksonville. Tickets are still available. Otherwise, you can, of course, see it on Max or TNT as she continues to be the star that has shined brightly in this world. Starting in Japan, she tells me, not too long ago, and then just going to the top on the back of Toni Storm and then overtaking Toni Storm. We talked a little about this in this interview. We'll show you an old clip we had of Toni Storm talking about Mariah May. But so excited to sit down and chat with her. So it'll be a little clunky in this interview. As you know, part of this interview was on the news here in Jacksonville. So you see a little bit of me talking about that here early in the interview, but then we just keep chatting about everything from Toni Storm to Britt Baker, to Tony Khan, and so much else, including their deal with Max and how she's dealing with stardom, and a fascinating story I did not know about her family seeing her wrestle for the first time professionally when she won the world title in London. Great story. So let's get to it. Without further ado, here is AEW World Champion. Here is Mariah May. Well, we're excited to be joined right now by AEW World Champ, best in the world, Mariah May. Thank you for joining us today. I want to talk so much about you, but I don't want to bury the lead. You know, a lot of our viewers may not realize you're a global entertainment wrestling company, but you're based here. This is your homecoming to Jacksonville, Florida.
Jacksonville. Yeah, we have our homecoming show tomorrow, Collision, in Jacksonville, in Daly's Place, which for All Elite Wrestling is a very historic place for us. We kind of were born there. That's where we kind of became a big trendy thing.
We've followed you guys for 5 years since you started over at Daly's Place. What's it been like to build this? TNT, now you're on Max. You guys are all over the place. One of the biggest kind of sports programming there is out there.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I think people forget AEW is 5 years old just because it's up there competing with the very best, and it's such a huge thing now. And for me, I came from Japan. I came over about just over a year ago. So for me, I'm coming into AEW and it's already this huge thing. But even going on to Max, when that was announced as like a company, how we all felt and how exciting it was is such a huge thing. And coming back to Daly's Place, because for so many wrestlers, that's kind of where they found their home and found their start. It's a really nice feeling. Even for me, who just sort of came in recently, I've been a part of that growth, but to see where we really started and how far we're going is just exciting.
So what do fans get when they show up at this? Going to an event that AEW puts on is like no other live show that I'll see anywhere in the world.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you what to expect. We do so many different things. We have so many wonderful characters. We have very wacky women, one of which I will be having a face-to-face with tomorrow.
I got to time out and I got to pause the interview. I want to show you something. I don't know how well we'll hear it, but I want to play it. Someone who was on our show, our Going Ringside show last year, a woman named Toni Storm. I want to play a quick soundbite from Toni Storm, if you guys could roll that real quick. Another one, Mariah May.
Mariah. Miss Mariah, yes. She came to All Elite Wrestling to follow in my footsteps.
And
Smart girl.
How is she doing?
She's doing fantastically. She's listening to me. She's really blossoming.
So this is Toni Storm a year ago saying kind things about you.
Oh, what does she have to say about me?
She said you were nice. She says you're really blossoming, but things fell apart. What happened to you and Miss Storm where you took her title from her?
This is what happened. You know, there can only be one at the top, and I think I am the face of AEW, not Toni Storm.
Not Toni Storm.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about being the face of AEW. Your rise in 2024 has been meteoric. You have become a global phenomenon, fans on every continent, let alone every state. What is fame like for you right now?
I mean, I don't know if I'm famous, but...
You're there. You have a possible toy coming out, I believe.
Maybe. I mean, stay tuned. Maybe there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 action figures. Who knows? But I know, I think it's really cool, like I said, being a part of AEW. I actually won this title in my hometown at All In, which is our huge show that we have every year. To win that in London was really cool, but we have shows all over the world. We had a show in Japan, and we work really closely with a company in Mexico. That's a really cool thing about AEW is we have women from all, I mean guys too, but who cares about them? But we have wrestlers from all over the world, and we go all over the world, and I think for me that's really exciting as a 26-year-old.
And let's get back to it, Mariah, so let's keep talking. So I got to talk to you about what it's been like with the Max deal. So you guys did TNT. What was the mood in the locker room when, you go to Max? Yeah, like, was it exciting?
Yeah, it was really exciting because we all kind of went to the ring and we didn't know what was being announced, and we were like, what's happening? What's going on? And then they announced...
you didn't know?
No, well, I didn't know.
I mean generally a lot of the wrestlers did not know.
I don't know. I'm out of the loop. I do my own thing. But I had no idea. Nobody around me knew. And then I remember I went with the makeup girls, and they announced it, and we were like, we're going to Max. So that was really cool. And kind of seeing, because I see it all the time on social media, people post like the home screen of Max, and it's just me and all my coworkers.
Is that
on
jarring?
There. That's crazy. That's, to like open up at Max and you're on there. Like we look, great in all our costumes. And like I said, to see my friends and everybody's on there and they look like $1 million is a really cool feeling.
So tell me about your decision to leave Great Britain. Was it London or where in Great Britain?
So I was in London, and then I actually moved to Japan to wrestle. And
then to come to Florida. You're in Orlando now. What's it like been to move to Florida?
Well, I was going to say the weather is amazing, but right now it is so cold, and this shawl I'm wearing is not enough. It's not. So if you're coming tomorrow, bring a jacket and some tissues, because I'll probably make you cry, Toni Storm. But no, it's been a really cool journey. I really like America. It's very big. Lots to do. Everywhere's very different.
I'm sure. I got to ask you about some names from your little group here. We're going to throw some names at you. We talked about Toni Storm, obviously. The first name I got to ask for is one I just keep seeing popping up in your world in good and bad ways. We're talking about Harley Cameron. Thoughts on Harley Cameron?
Don't even say her name, because she'll appear.
Don't even say her name.
She'll appear. I'm surprised she's not here right now, rolling into frame. She just follows me around.
Is she just trying to hog your spotlight, or what exactly is going on?
Probably. She's probably like, she's doing really well for herself. Why don't I just? I think she just likes me. I don't know.
You think she just likes you?
I think she has a little soft spot for me. She follows me a lot. She actually lives quite near me.
She does live near you?
She lives opposite me.
Really?
Yes.
Is that a little bit of an issue for you?
Well, I just find every time I leave my apartment, she happens to be there with her English bulldog, and she's like, and I'm like, oh gosh, so.
Not to play devil's advocate, but weren't you doing that with Toni Storm a little while back?
Well, yes, but not for real. I was playing a role to get this, so maybe that's what she's doing, which is why I'm keeping her. I don't know.
I would put a deadbolt on your door there if she's living so close.
Yeah.
Thunder Rosa.
What's there to say about Thunder Rosa? Where is Thunder Rosa? I beat her in a Tijuana street fight, which is her own thing, and I haven't seen her since.
So I saw a quote from you that you said you wanted to make Thunder Rosa's dad cry.
Yeah. Did I say that?
Yeah, I don't know if you remember that.
Did I say that?
I saw it in an interview. I mean, this is brutal. Sometimes it gets brutal.
Well, I don't think I did make him cry. I took his walking stick off him, and I'm pretty sure he laughed, honestly. I don't think he really needs a walking stick. I think he was leading us all on for sympathy.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I think,
Mercedes Moné.
I mean, I'm here doing this, not her, for a reason, because I'm a bigger star, and I'm the world champion. She's a secondary champion.
She's secondary.
Yes.
You're first.
She can have all these titles because she needs to, because none of them are the world title.
Jamie Hayter.
Hey. Jamie Hayter's come back with this new look and this orange hair, and if I can be honest, can I be honest?
You can be, absolutely.
I hate it. I think it's awful. I loved Jamie Hayter before I came to AEW, and when I came here, she got weird and she wears orange and stuff. If she wants to come back with the cool black hair and the silver and wrestle me for this, any day of the week. But while she's got the orange thing going on, I don't want to look at her.
Just going to throw this one out there, Britt Baker.
Anytime, any place.
Anytime, any place. Still, anytime, any place.
Well, what about Daily's place, Britt? Why don't you come tomorrow and wrestle me? I'd love to wrestle her. I was supposed to wrestle her, and then I think she, sat on some dental floss or something and didn't didn't show up. So if she wants to, I'm right here.
So I want to know about, first off, how are you doing physically? I mean, you do a grinding schedule now. I mean, what's it like to take the toll on your body?
Well, like I said, I came from Japan and I used to wrestle 3 to 4 times a week. So AEW is something of a dream in comparison.
Oh, it's better. Okay.
I mean, we fly obviously way more, and I think that is the harder part of the schedule, is just flying a lot. Unless Delta wants to give me 360 and put me in first class. But I think AEW is cool because we have a really great schedule. I mean, we have Dynamite and Collision, but realistically, you're wrestling once a week if you are. And I'm the world champ now, so I don't just give it out. Like, I'm not going to wrestle as much. You can earn it and come to me, which I think the girls are figuring out. So
you were very open on social media with your life.
Yes.
Wrestling social media is filled, and I didn't know this because I recently got back into it, with trolls.
Get back out of it.
No, that's what I noticed.
Go straight back out.
So how do you deal with it? I mean, they like or hate everything.
Yes.
They like or hate you. They like or hate AEW. They like or hate wrestling. What's that like?
I think if you would take it to heart and listen to it too much, it would be very damaging. But for me, I'm just, as long as people are talking about you, it's very exciting. It's good for the company. We want people to talk good or bad. That
do you think, like,
watching.
when even they criticism, it doesn't hurt in the end?
I will say at first, like you said, I was very open, so I always shared my training, and it was a very friendly, organic thing. And then once I kind of went to Japan, and then being on TV, it's a whole different beast. And being a part of AEW, it's huge. So I think learning to kind of, okay, we can't take everything personally. Like, everyone has an opinion, and like you said, there are trolls. I think you have to just you get a thick skin and you kind of learn, all right, don't take everything to heart, but I'm a bad guy. People aren't supposed to like me. I don't want you to like me, and everyone has an opinion.
Do you like playing heel? Do you like being a heel? I mean, do you like being mean?
I find it easier.
It is?
Whatever that means. So I'd rather be a bad guy than a good guy.
What's Tony like? Tony Khan?
He's great. Yeah.
You like Tony?
Yeah. Do I like my boss? Yes, I love my boss.
That's the easiest. That's the easiest question, I'm sure.
No, he's great, and the one cool thing for me too is, like I said, I lived in Japan and I didn't get to go home. Our schedule was crazy, but with Tony Khan, if I ever need to go home or there's something I need, AEW go out of their way to make sure you're comfortable and you're safe and you can be where you need to be, and they're very accommodating, which was just different for me because I never had that before. So I think you're great, Tony Khan.
What's it like now, just doing this at the level you're doing it? I mean, when you're working indies, when you're working Japan, it's one thing. To be here now, is your mind just kind of blown, like where you've ended up?
At first it was very surreal. I don't know if I blocked it out so I wouldn't get nervous, and just like, it's just another day in the office. Like, you're doing this is what you've trained to do your whole life. But I think for me, All In London, when I won this, in front of my family, but also we had 50,000 people there.
So this was in London. Did they just drive into the stadium the day, or is that kind of how that worked?
I think they got an Uber, but like 40-minute Uber to come and see me, and they'd only ever seen me at a school gym in front of 60 people in my first match.
I got to stop. So the first time they saw you outside of a school gym was
in a school gym.
In a school gym was winning the world title at Wembley Stadium.
Yeah. So they watched my debut.
At that point, did it become real for them?
Yeah, well, I was like, I'm not going to drag them to all my little indie shows. And I kind of had this thing where I was like, I'm going to go away and I'm going to make this happen. And you are going to come and you're going to sit front row and watch it. And I couldn't have dreamed, about Wembley Stadium because we didn't have wrestling in Wembley until AEW brought it back. But to have that moment and all those people, and like, I remember in the middle of the match when I was just like feeling myself and I looked out and I saw everybody and I saw my family, I was like, this is really cool. Like, this is amazing, and that's one of those moments where you're like, wow.
Before we wrap up, I want a couple questions about your inspirations. I saw you, a woman we've had on the show, Trish Stratus. I saw you dressed as Trish in a picture in December.
Yeah.
Was that a?
That's super old, but I think I dressed as her for Halloween, and she's really cool. She saw it and she was like, "You look great."
Okay. And then you mentioned another guy we had on the show. An inspiration was Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, I just wanted to be him. Or marry him.
one or the other?
Neither happened, but
neither happened?
I didn't do too bad.
But you're close to being him. You're on your way there. So
I just need to come out with the sleeves and like dance and flip.
So one more time, Collision, Saturday night, big show.
Daly's Place, Collision, it's our homecoming. It's a really nice atmosphere there. You can get tickets on awtix.com or Ticketmaster, and I'm going to be there in the flesh, in person, and Toni Storm.
Well, Mariah May, thank you for joining us on the show today. So glad Mariah could sit down and talk with us. Just very interesting to watch her develop as a performer and become a global star. Even though she doesn't think she is, that's where she's at right now. It's probably hard to just absorb all this in such a short amount of time because her star has gone up real quick. She said she got into it wanting to be like Jeff Hardy. Well, she's on her way right now. And of course, she'll be on, if you see this, before Saturday the 25th at Daly's Place. Tickets still available in downtown Jacksonville. So we'll see you next time here on Going Ringside.
This has been Going Ringside with The Local Station, brought to you every Wednesday on your favorite podcast player, on News 4 Jax Plus, as well as the News 4 Jax YouTube channel.